After 40 days on Mars, Mark's rapidly approaching the halfway mark before getting his insurance adjusters to write him off as dead. Wait, no, the opposite. They shouldn't. He's done a pretty solid job of getting all his initial accommodation set up, but he'll need to patch all the leaks and get himself ready to reach for the stars before the clock runs out. Between you and me, I give him 4-to-1 odds of pulling this off. 4-to-1, that's the going rate. Alright, I'll see you in the back alley prediction market of your choosing after the show. Place your bets, people. We are in the midst of day 41. In fact, it is almost over, and we've got a storm on the way. It seems like we always have a storm on the way. It seems like no matter what I do, my life is governed by storms and them being on the way. It's just an absolute joy to be here. Having a great time. Thanks for asking. We need to do a little bit of prep work here in order to get ourselves ready for said storm, because I have made a terrible error, a continuous and serious lapse in judgment, some might say. I need to change these vents immediately, right now, because this is not going to work. If we have these vents active on our panel, or in this little area, it is actually going to cause storm damage, and I'll explain why in a second. I'm going to put a vent here, and a vent here, and then I'm going to add this, and then I'm going to add this, and then I'm going to add these active vents I brought with me. Oh, wait, no. Those need to be on the other side. This would just be blowing the air back into this room. Okay, cool. That's powered up, and then we just need to connect it up to here as well. Okay, dope. So, we can now close this door and turn both of these on, and they should begin vacuuming out the contents of this space. Let me just confirm that it is decreasing in pressure. It is decreasing in pressure. Okay, fantastic. I mean, very slowly, but it is happening. The reason we need to do that is because the way storms are calculated in Stationeers... Oh, that's too many vents. Well, the reason we need to do that is because of the way storms calculate their damage in Stationeers. It is based on a pressure differential with the surrounding atmosphere. Meaning that if we were to, for example, have the pressure inside our little room over there be identical to the atmospheric pressure outside, it will actually calculate as though there is no wall, right? It will treat the inside of that space as the same as the outside. And so having those pass-through vents actually enables that to happen, which is kind of the opposite of what we want. Can you give me some plastic sheets? Because I am now going to head inside and we're going to do a little bit of renovation on the base. Make it look a little bit nicer. Oh, there it is. Okay, so hopefully we got that down soon enough, and that is going to begin, I don't know, pumping out enough gas that we don't get damage to our solar panels, but time will tell, and we'll find out later, I guess. Okay, let's spray paint all of these. Oh, these can be white, I suppose, but I would like my pipes to be gray, because we are actually going to use those to increase our coverage inside the greenhouse. We've got a lot of little things we need to get done over the next couple days to kind of catch the base up. We've got a lot of projects that are sort of halfway built, and I think it might be time to kind of just take a moment, step back, and get everything situated, because, yeah, I'm going to lose track of what we need to do pretty quickly, and I'd rather that didn't happen. Well, let's start by building up everything we've currently got, and then we'll figure out what we still need to get. Ah, the day has come, and once again, we are stuck inside. Man, it is, what a great day to stay inside. Bo Burnham said it best, let me tell you. One thing we do need to do before we head back out there on our many excursions is actually going to be to harvest up our seeds. We always want to be growing this crop as much as possible. Specifically the seeds. I want as many seeds as I can get, because you can often sell these for a pretty decent price, and that is going to be something we're going to be working towards today, is at the very least like some simple trading. I don't think we're going to set up the whole 9x9 trading platform or anything. I'd be very happy with just a very basic starting set for now. Anyway, obviously, eventually, we're going to want the big boy one. Actually, no, I suppose eventually Mark actually wants to leave this planet. He hasn't exactly been taking steps to effect this goal, but yeah, he's definitely planning on leaving. I promise. Definitely on the cards. Okay, we've got 26 potatoes surplus. And you know what? We do have this extra pipe over here. Why don't we just throw down one more of these right over here? I don't see any reason not to. Also, we should probably eat something. Make me a baked potato. Also, have I immediately forgotten that I can drink from my suit? Yes, I have. Thanks for asking. Okay, there we go. That's immediately solved the hydration issue. Let's have a little nibble. And let's take a moment to appreciate our new interior. So we've got walls on everything. We do not yet have lights in here. So that's definitely something I want to do. Oh man, there's so many things. We need floors and lights, and I'm going to lose track of everything. I'm way too ADHD for all this. You know what that means? That means it might be time for a task list. Unironically, I think we need to get the to-do list going. Okay, in order to do so, I like to use these things. Give me some signs. Yes, they're cheap and they are effective for this exact purpose. Where is our signboard gonna be? Somewhere I'm always looking. Right here. That's gonna do it. Okay, and all this crud can just be relocated somewhere else for the moment. How about the floor? I'm a big fan of the floor. Where do you think that locker went? Oh, there it is. Okay, might have been a bit of littering going on. Okay, so the first thing we're going to need to do here is add 7 panels to our solar farm. All right, we need 7 more solar panels, and yes, that is facing the correct direction. Lovely. Okay, let's add some stuff to the list here. Okay, so here is our temporary task list, and by temporary I mean these are all the things I kind of want to get done at least today, if not very soon. So we need 7 more solar panels. We need to adjust the doors and the vents up there so that we can better control the environment. We definitely need to improve our jetpack fuel situation because we've been doing this for far too long. This is actually embarrassing. We could use the waste return line for our greenhouse to do so. It is going to waste a bit of oxygen, but who cares? If we get so much of it for free from Mars. Most of it's made up of Mars anyway. What else can we do? We can build the kitchen, we can build the bedroom, we can build the bathroom. This one we can build it, but it might need to wait before we use it because you need to do water recapture, and that requires getting into charcoal, which requires a bunch of, food to turn into hydrocarbons. It's a whole thing. We do need lights in the greenhouse. It's very dark in there. We do need a supply closet in the greenhouse. I'd like to automate that turbo pump so we don't ever blow up our pipes. We need to upgrade all of our canisters to the advanced ones, except the waste canister, because there's no benefit. We'd like to build a trading platform. We'd like to get some recycling going so I can recover my resources from all this crud. And we'd like to set up some trading stuff, right? Platform, the trader console, and of course, the remote search for traders. I'm actually going to start this with the recycler. That's the first thing I'm going to build, and it's quite expensive, as you can see. We're going to build the recycler, and then we're going to build a centrifuge. And I would like to use the combustion centrifuge, but we'll start with the cheapy basic one. Okay, so that's going to be recycling. In the meantime, what is it going to take me to get some more solar panels? I need gold and copper. Do I have gold and copper? A little bit, yes. Not enough to really get where we want to go, though. So we're going to have to go out and mine some copper. Okay, 250 copper should certainly do the trick. That's definitely a good start. Where have my lights gone? Oh no. Did they fall beneath the cliff? Or is the daylight... Oh, there. Okay, they just fell beneath the cliff. Man, I gotta say, the base is looking cooler and cooler with every single episode. Look at that. Oh man, it's genuinely coming together really, really well. Oh, you love to see it. Alright, so far we've managed to add ourselves a beautiful wall of things to do and done none of it. So we can get some of this done. For example, upgrading our canisters. So how does that gonna work? I need 4 advanced canisters, these ones here, the smart canisters, which requires a bit of silicon, which requires me to go digging once more in my assorted backpacks. There is some silicon available. Perfect. Let's chuck that as such. Okay, she's heated up. Pop that open. And chuck this in there. Okay, you make me some smart canisters. Thank you. You make me 1 more solar panel. Thank you. And that should hopefully be the last solar panels we need for a while. Okay, there's my 1 canister. There's my panels. Lovely. I'm going to need 4 canisters here. We're doing a lot of things in concert. All right, so that's 1, 2. And these 2 will be for my jetpack. And there's another one. And that one's going to be for my oxygen. Wink. Okay, you're done. First things we need to do, though, is to pop this open and then set this value to be 19,500. So, because these smart canisters can hold twice as much gas as the basic ones. They are fantastic. And stick that right there, and that can start charging up for me. Okay, lovely. In fact, what I'm going to do is swap that out, swap this out, and then this one's going to get vented back into this room. Bunch of pure O2 added into this space, and we will be just destroying this canister. Okay, same thing's going to happen here. You're getting filled up with what we've got, which isn't much, admittedly. You are going to get vented out, and you two are going to be recycled. Okay, lovely. That's that done. We got some more steel frames. We will be using those, don't you worry. We've got that set. We've got that set. Let's set up our solar panels and sort out the remaining stuff up there so we can check some items off our list, actually. Oh, hold on. You need to be connected up with the side small wires. I didn't realize we haven't got that done. Okay, there's a little bit more to do up here. Okay, lovely. All solar panels lined up. Now we need to reposition these doors, because I realized if we just rotate these doors, we don't have to break the seal every time. Just like so. And then we need to do a little bit of automation. So I think the simplest way to do this is actually just going to be to set these pins. East vent. This is going to be my west vent. Okay, east vent, west vent, go on there. Drop the laptop. Okay, so let's set up a basic loop here. It shouldn't be that hard to follow, I don't think. Oh, and I think we are going to need a gas sensor in here as well. Let's get one of those quickly. Oh, we'd actually need two, wouldn't we? Yeah. And we actually want this sensor close to this vent, I think, so that as soon as... Oh, it doesn't really matter where it is, it'll work. Okay, and this was the west vent, so this is going to be the west sensor. West sensor. East sensor. Okay. Okay, so this is our updated solar tracking chips script. It now includes a little bit of a pressure check for this chamber. So the simplest thing we're going to do is just do tracking on its own loop. We make sure that that runs every time. But also I would like to then do the pressure checks the simplest way I can imagine. We're basically going to check the pressure in the west and east wings of our little housing. And then if either one of them happens to be, you know, higher than 0.1, we'll turn the vents on. It's that simple. It couldn't be simpler. We could add some hysteresis. We could add a little bit of a, safety check. We could add all these things, or we could just do this. Okay, so these things should run now until the pressure in this room goes below 0.1 kilopascals. The reason I'm doing that is because we could hit absolute vacuum, but it should be okay. It looks like they did not get damaged in the previous storm, which is really, really good. But we should see these run and then eventually turn themselves off. And we're done. That's it. It's that simple. It's complete. Okay, so we should be able to just leave that alone now. And more importantly, we can knock 2 items off our list for today. So that knocks out 7 panels. Done. We have adjusted the doors. Done. And we have automated these solar vents. Done. We have also upgraded all of our canisters. Done. Okay. Which means the next thing we need to set up, I think, is going to be recycling. And for that, I'm going to need some of these frames, which means I want to expand out my area here. And as the sun dawns on day 44, oh my goodness, it is coming on quick. We are printing out ourselves a new icy housing. And that is because we have set down our refineries, and I will talk about that in a second. Sorry, our recyclers, and I will talk about them in a second. But I would actually like to, of course, automate those recyclers. It is not enough to simply have them. I would like to actually have them like fully functional. So we built it, but I think I'd like to update this task to say automate recycling. But we'll get to that in a second. Let's first go over what recycling actually is and what it entails. I am just going to temporarily place down this icy housing. This one here is going to be to automate our workshop. So you know what? Let's actually update this to be automate workshop. And this area here is going to remain the workshop, and eventually we will move all of this to a proper location and we can bring the scripts that we write with us. Let's take a look at our recycling. So the way this works is actually pretty dang straightforward. Recycling takes place by crushing up whatever you put into this input. It will then process it into a sorted materials, you basically get 50% of whatever the input cost was on average, and then it spits it out into this thing, the centrifuge. The centrifuge has a sort of a rotations per minute, right? Revolutions per minute. And the higher the RPM, the faster you process ore. The basic centrifuge gets up to, I think, a maximum of 100. Or maybe it's 300, I actually don't remember. But there is a much better form of the centrifuge, which is the gas-powered centrifuge. But that requires some more additional infrastructure, which I'm not going to bother with until we actually, like, you know, have a permanent location for it, because we have to run pipes, and it's a whole thing. Also, I did put in a additional battery charger right here, just to make that sort of thing that much easier. Okay, so let's go experiment with our new stuff. So we got this extra weather station. We definitely don't need two. And let's turn on our recycler and run this through. And you'll see that gets us a bunch of these incremental pieces, right? That will then be sent over here. There's 9 units of reagent mix that need to be processed, and then it will be turned back into raw ore that we can smelt again and get all our value back from. The good thing to note, though, is with the actual, when it comes to recycling, rather, the special ingots, like the ones that you get from like steel and Invar and all that, you do not have to get the temperature and pressure correct in the furnace to process them back. You basically just get them back for free, which is super sweet. Okay, let's just make sure there's nothing in these belts. There is something in this belt, which is also going to be getting recycled. But the belts can be processed. Lovely, a little bit of extra iron. There's a spare battery in there, which we can absolutely recycle. We don't need little batteries anymore. Oh, this is real satisfying. Oh, we're getting it all back now. And as you can see, it's got all these sort of like little partial bits. It's invariable. It'll happen. And there is going to be quite a bit of traffic while we wait for all of this to come through. This thing does max out at 100 RPM. Now, of course, you can run these things in parallel. That speeds stuff up a lot, but, you know, there's also no huge rush. I'm okay. Now, this additional entry point here is just in case I accidentally mix up some stuff in my furnace that I want to centrifuge out and separate the ores from. I can just chuck that in here and it will go into this network to be processed. So that just means we don't have to chuck out any accidentally created reagents. What's that? Interior doors? Probably don't need interior doors. Let's get the iron and copper back from that. Okay, lovely. So that is our basic recycling done. That's awesome. Nice to have it finished. We have 200 grams of silver just chilling there. And I think we had a big old chunk of lead somewhere as well. Yeah, right there. Let's keep that all in one place. God, this needs to be organized as well. So many little things to do. So little time to do it in. And our batteries are not charging particularly quickly. In fact, they've got me a little bit worried. We're at full daylight and we're still not charging. We have so much more solar power. Have I blown a fuse or something? Also, I feel like you should definitely have turned off by now. What is going on in here? Yeah, this should be working. We've got the pressure set correctly. You know what we need to do? Super basic, but I think I need to... Yeah, like, this one should be done by now. I don't know what's going on with that. You know what we can do real quick is we can grab... Not there. We can grab a couple of pipe meters, a couple of extra passive vents, and some pipe. And we can just see what's going on. Okay, the pressure in here had dropped significantly, too. So we were definitely getting there, that's good. That's what you want to hear. We need to see another passive vent. This is going to be so stupid. We're literally going to put a passive vent right here. This passive vent is going to have a pipe on the bottom, and that pipe's going to have a pipe meter, and that's so I can see the pressure in here without having to go inside. It's so dumb, but it will actually work. Okay, so you are decreasing. Okay, I was just impatient. It took too long. Okay, I see. Okay, the reason this works is because this passive vent allows us to see what is in this room. It's because it becomes the same network as that pipe, functionally. Well, not exactly the ideal situation, having to come in here repeatedly, but I feel like this one is not draining. Am I crazy? I just feel like it isn't doing its job, but maybe I guess I've been opening the door a bunch. I don't know. Your pressure is not decreasing. You are definitely decreasing. That is working. I just don't know. Okay, I'm gonna leave you running for a little bit. There is a hole in this somewhere. That is the only explanation I can think of. But none of these panels were damaged, which means there is no hole in here. I don't know. You know what? You know what? Screw it. Screw it. I don't want the power anyway. Maybe I do want the power. Shit. I don't know. Okay, turn you all... I don't understand why I'm not gaining power. That is crazy to me. I think we need to do something a little novel here and go get our network analyzer chip, because I need to see why I'm losing power so quickly. Also, look at that. Fully charged, baby. Lovely, lovely. I suppose while I'm down here, I can add this to our storeroom. That's what this space is meant to be. Yeah, let's get like some floor storage going. Some floorage. That's perfect. No notes. Potato seeds can go in there. Yeah, this is mostly just going to be for potato seeds. I'm not going to lie to you. looks like we're down to 8%. Okay, everything's falling apart, and I don't know why. We should have, like, infinite power. Do you make the better tablet? You do. Make one better tablet, please. And then this one can get recycled. Yay! You know what? Give me a wireless battery to go with it. A big one. Would be so funny if the power died right now and I wasn't able to do any of this. I would cry, but it would be so funny. Okay, so there's our advanced tablet. Advanced tablet is very cool because you can do all sorts of extra stuff with it, but mostly what I use it for is just to hold 2 chips. You can put an IC chip in there so that it does all sorts of fancy stuff, but I'm fine with this for now. Okay, give it a big old battery. And give it the network analyzer. Now, if I'm correct, I think you just scroll. You hold Alt and scroll. You hold Control and scroll. How do you scroll? I forget. Do I left click? I right click? No. I press E? No. I press F? No. I throw it on the ground. I Google. How to switch tablet view Stationeers 2026. Hold R. Okay. Aha! There we go. Okay, so we have 18 kilowatts of draw on this battery right now, which is psychotic. And our input is going to be nothing because there's no sun. It's trying to draw 14.4 megawatts. I just have a feeling we've blown a cable somewhere. I think that is the only way this makes any sense. You are not working. This is not working. Something is wrong with this room. There's gas coming in somewhere. Okay, you know what? You know what? Screw you. Picking you up or putting you back down. I don't care if you flash an error. Maybe the thing's just bugged. I don't know. I don't know. Okay? I don't know. You have definitely worked. You're fine. You're not on notice anymore. There's not even like a whoosh of air. Like they're not even pretending. Is the pressure in here decreasing now? No. Why do you bully me so terribly? The pressure's actually increasing. Yeah, something hasn't rendered. One of these windows is not complete or something. There is glass in all of these. There is no reason this should not be working. The game's just treating it as outside. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't think we can do anything about this. Something's bugged. This is a bug. Look at the temperatures. It's just like, yeah, this is outdoors, bud. Don't worry about it. It even says world. This isn't a room. This isn't a room. Why is it in a room? What? Is it too big? It's too big. I bet you it's too goddamn big. I bet you that's the problem. Oh my god, I've solved it. I bust this whole thing wide open. I bet you it's just too big. Oh, I forgot there's size limits on the room calculation. Oh, hold on. He's just cracked the whole case wide open. And I really wish I had those interior doors right now. This and some of these and a pass-through vent and a dream. Okay, we are up to day 45 and we are still fighting against this, which is that's just great. I love that for us. That's so nice. Okay, where do I need to partition this thing so that it considers itself a room? I'm just going to cut it in half. We're going to put this right here. And I didn't bring any goddamn plastic sheets or glass. Okay, back out we go. You know what? You know what? This is fun. I'm having a great time. Oh, okay. So what happened? For those of you who are not following, don't worry. Not your fault. It's a bug with the game. Well, not a bug, but it's like a limitation of this game engine. The game only calculates a quote-unquote room, and therefore the gas can only be moved between quote-unquote rooms if they are of a certain size. Okay, this is now a room, which means that this vent is going to start pulling stuff. Okay, please, comment section. You'll have to forgive me for my insolence here. I didn't know. Okay, pass-through vent goes there. If I pop this, is this still a room? This is a room? This is a room. Okay, so maybe we don't need this vent after all. Is this still a room? This is a room? This is a room. Perfect. Lovely. Done. Okay. Okay, so we should be producing just a gargantuan amount of power right now. How much are we making? We are producing 7.1 kilowatts, increasing to 8.75. Yeah, plenty. 8 kilowatts of power, although the base is drawing 15. So I've just got to figure out where all that's going. I mean, some of it's going to these goddamn vents. I was going to do trading today, but maybe we actually need to pivot to the gas fuel generator. Look at that, all of our batteries have actually bottomed out. So what's our power draw on this line? It is 11.1 kilowatts. That is ridiculous. Where is that all coming from? It's probably the pipe heaters, if I had to take a guess. You're at 14.4 megawatts of power required, but you're producing 4.3. That cannot be correct. That panel's at 99% efficiency. So is that one. Oh, let's do a bit of quick math. So they're 99% efficiency, they're producing 550. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 33. 33 times 550. So we should be producing 18 kilowatts. We should be producing 18 kilowatts. Why am I producing 4.2? Okay, I'm going to count solar panels here. Give me a second. There are only 7 solar panels connected to this network. What the hell is going on? Okay, you're saying that we got 6.3 kilowatts on this line. And you've got 500 watts. These lines are not connected. Something's wrong, man. This shit is not connected somewhere. 23 watts. No, this is not connected. This is not connected. I don't know where it's not connected, but it's not connected. There. There. Yes. We found it. It burnt out. That was probably during the storm, if I had to guess. So we can produce 18 kilowatts from our solar panels, plus another 6 kilowatts from our... another 8 kilowatts from these boys during a storm, which gives us 26 max, plus I think this is another 1 combined, so that's 27.5 max, right? We can produce 27.5 kilowatts of power. If I look at the heavy cable can support 100 kilowatts of power, 10 megawatts. We should be fine. Now that a cable is connected, if I put this on here, we have 19 devices connected again. Something else has shorted out. I think I know what's happening. I think these cables, these batteries, are attempting to draw infinite power suddenly, and it's blowing the cables. That might be it. The only risk would be that we somehow connected this red line to the green line. That's what would blow things. Is this going to immediately break? If it is, then that is a connectivity problem and not an overvoltage problem. You know what we can do to try and diagnose this a little bit further is to cut this line, the one charging the batteries for the moment, and see if this fixes it. There's the broken cable. Okay, so I should see like 38 devices all connected here. 23. It blew again. Okay, so we can confirm through troubleshooting that it is not the battery connection that is causing the short. It's something else, which means there must be some point somewhere where the heavy cable and the light cable are interacting. But I cannot for the life of me find it. No, at no point do these cables intersect one another. I guess the best thing we can do here is to start snipping and seeing what causes the breaks again. So right now, no cables connected, right? I connect you up. We have 136 watts of generation. Lovely. All right, and how many devices? 16 devices. 14, 15, 16. Okay, so this whole wing is connected and nothing has blown. All right, so we've got 16 devices connected and presumably functional. So that means we should now then get another 1, 2, 3, 14, 15 connected if I attach this. So that should bring us up to 31. We're doing 1.06 kilowatts. We have 32 devices. I miscounted by one. We have 32 devices. Oh, because of course the APC is connected as well. No pops. Let's connect up the batteries. And let's see if that pops this. Nothing has blown up. We are not quite yet at full possible production, but it's one of these. One of these lines right here is the culprit. So what we need to do now is sequentially target them. So I'm going to add panel by panel until it breaks. And we're going to figure out which one of these is the problem. Let's now reconnect the first one, which brings us up to 37 devices. No explosions. 39 devices, no failure. You know what I'm going to do before we continue is I'm actually going to put a fuse down. Let's put down a 100 kilowatt fuse right there because that should max out before the line does. And let's keep checking. $47. And now we're getting the power production we expected. What was going on yesterday? I haven't changed anything except to reconnect stuff. Do you think it was just a bug? Well, I'm happy it's fixed, but I don't really know why it's fixed, and that's a problem. Yeah, either way, we have some extra protections this time. We have that additional fuse in place. In fact, you know what? I'm going to chuck down a second one just for good measure. I'm going to stick it right over here. Okay, so if anything, if this line fails, that'll pop. Well, I wish I could tell you exactly why that just happened, but I can't. But I'm glad to say that it is, for now at least, resolved, and we are actually charging up our batteries. Okay, which means we can get back to everything we were doing here. Alright, it is already day 56, and we... Oh, sorry, not 56, 46. Day 46. And we've got a lot left to do. So let's consult the task list and see what we can knock out quickly today, because the day is almost over and I'd rather get started on the trading platform in the daytime. So the supply closet is basically done. That's pretty sweet. We would like to add some lights to the greenhouse. That's easy to do. We can automate our jetpack fuel. In fact, I think I want to do that right here because we have access to this line there. I just don't know how we're actually going to get to it. Well, let's start from the bottom. Let's keep things simple and go from there. So we're going to spray paint this green. And this is, in fact, you know what? We need another one of these. This is going to be our jetpack refuel console. And in fact, I'll put one of these on both sides of this window, I think. Okay, what else will we need? We'll need a pressure regulator. That's going to control the pressure inside our tanks. And of course, we will need our smart packs, right? Our smart jetpacks, which presently are pretty dang full. Okay, yeah, so this should totally be doable. We're going to steal a fork from this line here, is what I would love to say if that was ever going to happen. It's a little crowded in here, admittedly. This may not be the place we could do this. I do like having all my stuff in this little closet, though. That can go there. Okay, lovely. That's done. That's straightforward. That's super simple. We want to pressurize this up to, let's say, 19,500. Okay, sick. So that one's done. That's set up. That's running. All right, so we have our pressure regulator wired in. Now we need to connect it up to that waste gas line. Okay, I guess in order to get to that pipe, we are going to have to do one of these. I think we need to crack this open and run a connection up here, which is so stupid because it's literally going around itself like 3 times. Whatever, it's fine. We run a connection up here, which comes across, goes over, and connects up to there. We're going to have to move that water line then. Or, why don't we just move this? That might simplify everything quite a bit. Which means, then, again, reflexively, this can now just go straight down. Okay, which means we can now bring this pipe up through here. What are you out of? Silicon? Lies. Okay, now I can bring that over there, and we're done, and we're done, and we're done. We did it, we did it, we did it, we did it. No one look at it too closely, we did it. Okay, we're taking credit, we're taking credit. Absolutely no one's allowed to criticize this. It's perfect in every single way. Lovely. Hey, okay, okay. That actually worked out pretty well, and we got a bunch of cable back, which is nice. Okay, lovely. So that should be that done then, right? We're basically set. I guess, you know what, there's actually one more little piece we could add to this, which is just a valve. So we can see the pressure in there at a glance. That would be nice. Meter, that's what they're called. Okay, cool, and it is actively pressurizing. Lovely. Wow, what an absolute marathon of problem solving and improvements this episode has been so far. But we're far from done, man. We're far from done. Mostly because Mark, again, still has no canonical knowledge of what an episode is. But also because our task list is hardly finished. We have successfully managed to automate our jetpack fuel with this time round, which is nice to have done. Stop. And you can become green. And then you're going to go on the other side. But that's a big cause for celebration. That's one more done. Okay, cool. So now I have the ability to fill my jetpack, either inside or outside. I can swap all my gas tanks super duper easily. I guess we just got to make sure we don't put the wrong one in the wrong place. That still has the potential to do us in without too much trouble. Okay, looks like we are still charging up properly as we were before. And let's just confirm that all of our stuff is connected. 47 devices. Okay, lovely. If that pops again, and this pressure is decreasing, and this pressure has hit this is off, and it's off, and it's off. Okay, lovely. What else do we need to work on? Let's take a look at our list. So we have we can tear down this build. That's the next thing I'm going to do. We can automate the turbo pump. I'll do that, and we will add some lights to our greenhouse next. And then we start maybe we start the trader build now. Let me rip this apart, and then we will start building the trading pad. So trading in Stationeers is actually a fairly straightforward procedure. Traders are basically always in orbit. You've just got to find them. You use a satellite dish to do this. You kind of point it in their general direction. The signal gets a little bit stronger. You adjust your dish. The signal gets even stronger. And eventually, you have enough energy that you can, quote-unquote, interrogate them. Meaning that you can send out a signal to the trader, establish a communication, and then officially request for them to land. Which brings in the second stage of trading, and that is actually the landing. Now, there are 3 different sizes of landing pads, or actually 4, that traders can occupy. There's 3x3, 5x5, 7x7, and 9x9. Now, in the past, whenever I played this game, I've always incrementally built these because you don't really need the big boys right at the beginning. But in this case, I'm thinking that maybe we just lay out the foundation of a 9x9, only build the small bits as we need them, and then progressively expand it as we would before. This way we don't have to find space or relocate the whole thing. We've kind of just got the basic footprint laid out. Now, welding in the frames here is actually not necessary. You just need a frame underneath a landing platform in order to construct it, but you know what? I just like the way it looks, and it makes walking around just that little bit more comfortable. So we're gonna do it. Okay, sue me. We're also going to need a place to put our radar dish, and that's what this conning tower is for. It's a tall boy that's designed to basically just lift the radar out of the way so that I can point it at the sky without interruption. Now, I'm not convinced that Stationeers even models this. I don't think that you can actually have, occlusion where stuff gets in the way of your radar signal. But at the same time, they're constantly updating this game, and I don't want to have to go back and fix it if they decide to add that functionality. So we're working with what we got, okay? You don't need to put your radar dish up on a tower, but I mean, come on. You're going to tell me I'm not supposed to do it? I don't be serious. Now, this would be much easier to do if we had a radar dish, which we do not yet have, or any trading platforms, which, again, we do not yet have. But barring those very minor inconveniences, we are well on our way to trading, people. So if I had a quick look at a dish, I think we'll go with the medium dish for now. That's definitely the simplest one given our situation. Then we want to build a computer, which I believe is actually what we had selected anyway. Oh, how fortuitous. We'll need a computer. We'll need a communications motherboard, which does actually require, I think, a bit of silver, if I remember correctly. So we can get that smelted up in the meantime. There we go. Why don't you just get run through, and you'll just smelt yourself. Beautiful. Okay, so silver is gonna go in there because the computer will take some gold, some copper. Oh, we're definitely gonna need more copper. Okay, immediate mining detour. All right, quite the haul. We've got several bajillion copper, which should certainly see us through. Let's also, oh, we can still make the computer. That's fantastic. Oh, shut up. Okay, you two just sit over there for the moment because I also then need this thing to start making me some basic landing pads, which is steel and copper. Send it. Let's feed it the big chunk of steel that we're sitting on, 500 grams. That's a lot of steel. Yeah, it's fine. Oh, it's so nice having so many of these systems just automated and set up now. Oh, it's just such a good change, man. I'm so glad we've gone through the trouble to do this, because the base was kind of lagging behind our ability to do stuff with it, and this has just really caught everything up in a big way. Alright, but we have everything we need to actually place down the very basics here. So I'm going to go to the center of my 9x9 grid, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we got one extra walkway, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is this one. We're going to place down our center point for the landing pad, and then we just need a couple of lines leading in. I mean, we don't need these, but I like the aesthetic. Okay, and then temporarily, we will place our data port right next to it. Okay, so I believe to fix this, or to finish this, we just need to weld in a bunch of steel sheets. Okay, and temporarily that is built. Now we can go ahead, of course, and expand it, but to do so, we will need to go from a 9x9 to a 25. So we need 17 more bits. And as you can see, it gets dramatically more expensive as you go. But not to worry, let's go get some more cable coils, and we'll continue working on this. While those cable coils print, why don't we head upstairs and build our very, very, very cool radar dish. Okay, this is it, the medium radar dish. Now, it needs a frame below it for support, allegedly. So what I'm going to do is just temporarily pick this up, put it down, we'll place the dish, and then we'll do it again. Actually, maybe I kind of want that, like, dead center? Yeah, I think I do. Okay, so you go right there, and then I just need to move that cable, is what it means. Okay, that's all connected up, and then I think it's just like, it's like some steel sheets and some plastic or something to get this done. Wrench and some plastic, okay. And then more plastic. Okay, lovely, there we go. Beautiful, so there is our medium satellite dish in all its glory, and I have fallen off the console, the tower, okay. Well, we can turn this thing on, and you will see that it pulls a pretty substantial amount of power, but you can actually increase that. So right now, it's pulling 50 watts of power. We're going to bump that up to, let's go to full power. Oh, that'll blow the line. Okay, well, it can't go more than 499 because that's what we've limited its transformer to. So that is 450 watts of power. Is that right? That's 4,500. I'm sensing that there's one of these numbers is not right. That says 7,500, right? This says 750. One of you two is lying, and I'm not sure which one it is. You know what? I'm not going to complain. Okay, so that's pulling quite a bit of power right now, and that is sort of randomly screaming into the universe, telling everybody where we are and what we want. So we can actually, as you can see here, move the position of this dish, which I think is seriously cool. But to sit here and manually do this is incredibly painful, so we are going to get a script to do it for us. And for once, this is not one that I'm going to be writing. This one's going to come directly from the myth, the man, the legend himself, Cows Are Evil. I've used this script for years, and it's never failed me, and so I don't plan to test that theory now. Now, there are two ways we can control this thing. The first is using the computer board, like this one, right? We place it, let's say, right over here. We stick the communications board inside it, and we use a screwdriver on this, and we'll be able to see whatever's connected to that. So let's wire it up, and I'll show you how you can do this. But this is a modded way I want to try, which I've never used before, and I'm kind of really keen to try. Okay, so there we go. We can see that we're actually pretty damn close to some of these gents. We can try and talk to this one. This will require 27 watts for 25 seconds. Let's interrogate it. Ah, there we go. We are blowing. We're blowing the line. I see. Okay, so it's at idle. It is consuming 10% of its desired power. I understand. Okay, let's take it down to 4,500. That should still allow us to run everything else. And now we should be able to talk to you. We've got a 3x3, so let's talk to you. He is interrogating it, which means that this thing is now pulling full power for the time of the interrogation. Yes, now we are using the full juice. Okay, we've contacted them, which means that we can ask them to land. However, we have no landing pad available. The reason for that is that this needs to be powered. Now we have the ability to tell this gent to land. However, I would be remiss to do this in the nighttime. We should definitely see that happen during the day. So we're going to put a pause on this right now, and we're going to come back to it, because I want to show you another option we have. That is not the button I meant to press. It was to do this, was to build some of these modular consoles, which is something I've really wanted to experiment with, but haven't had the chance to yet. So let's check this out. So this is a modular console. Let's put this down over here. And the way these work is they allow you to like add a bunch of cool stuff into them. I'm actually going to pull apart this computer in its entirety and see if we can't get it inside this thing, like, completely. Okay, cool. So, checking this out, we now have some pretty rad little consoles. And these come from the modular consoles mod, and this is something I've always wanted to play with, but haven't really had the opportunity. So the first thing I'm going to do is place a computer right here, which I believe means I can put my communications motherboard in there, and yes, dude! Okay, so we've got that built right in. We've got a couple of data slots, pretty cool, for data disks, and we can still see our friend. So, with the time-lapse camera running and absolutely ready to receive, let's take a look at Asteroid Assayers. Come on in. Whoa! Where is he? Where's oh, there he is. I see a problem. I put the arrows facing the conning tower. Oh, that's so on me. The arrow. Oh, it's. Oh, hello, Mr. Robot Friend. Hello. Hello, it's nice to meet you. Oh, okay. He will buy. I can buy ore from you. That's super cool. And I can sell you cake, chocolate cake in a box, mining drills. Ooh, for $50. And ship refuels. Oh, God. Alright, well, we did come here with $200 worth of pocket money. And unfortunately, I have recycled my mining drill, but we can make him another one just to sort of demonstrate how this works. Oh, no, the wreckage. The wreckage. Alright, can we recycle this for anything? Did we get anything back if I... Nope. Okay, so that just shredded our radar dish. Can I get another dish, please? Thank you. Thank you. Just the one. That'll be fine. Oh, that's so unbelievably funny. Now, sometimes these have special requirements where, for example, they'll want you to bring in a very specific thing. It needs to have a small battery cell with 99% in the back. Okay, cool. Well, I can go get one of those. Okay, hello, friend. You can now purchase this. Oh, wait, I've got to have it in my hands. If you don't have, you can use a vending machine to trade with these guys without having to bring stuff over, but if you've got it in your hand, like that, you can sell it. Okay, thank you, Mr. Robot Friend. Very cool to meet you. Thanks for destroying my radio tower. I mean, that wasn't really your fault. Well, time to assess the damage. Honestly, all things considered, that could have been a lot worse. That could have been a lot worse. Okay, oh wait, which what I would say if I could stand on any part of this giant steel structure. Okay, second time's the charm. Okay, but all that excitement aside, let's go ahead and put down an icy housing. This is going to be used to control the various elements of our system here. Let's also immediately, before I forget, send this gentleman on his merry way. I might actually buy up some of his silicon. How much have you got to sell me? 200? I've got, what, 250? So I could buy 100. I could buy 180 of you. Oh, just shy. Let's get 170. I'll take all of your silicon. That is incredibly useful. Okay, I've only been charged for what there was inventory space for. I see, I see. Okay, that's where you really want to use the vending machine, just because it simplifies all that. But you know what? That's good enough. Why don't you head on your way? It was so nice to meet you. Have a good life. Let's buy maximum ore. I'll just buy as much of the ore as I can get. And we'll go ahead and process this and find out what was inside. Bye-bye. Lovely to meet you. What a G. No. Oh, I forgot again, dude. Okay, here we go. Print another satellite dish. Oh, but that gave me a good old chuckle. Alright, what was inside that ore? Let's see, what are we getting? What are we getting? Little summon? Cobalt! Ooh, gross. I really hope that I'm right about this and that they will now come in from that direction because... Oh, dude, it is so funny. Oh, heavens. Okay, well, we got there. Now, we can even do a little bit of programming. Okay, so I'm going to search for... this is a script I've used many times, but I don't think I've ever showed off... Oh, no, I might have showed it off in my Vulcan series, but it's the Satellite Tracker V2 by Cows Are Evil. So we go ahead and bring that in, and we just need to set up two things. We need to have a resume button, the radar, and the reset button, right? Those are the additional things we need to set to each of those pins. And I'm actually going to leave that there for a second while I wire all this in. So D0 is our radar. Lovely. And then we need a reset button and a start button, right? Resume and reset, yes. So we can put these down using our little consoles here. And as long as they're connected to these data ports, we can address all of them directly. And honestly, I'm liking the idea of it being these ones. And then I've got a couple of labels. So label plates do this one and this one. And we go here and we'll say, this is my... These might need to be buttons. I don't know if the switches will work. Beep, beep, boop. I think I'm going to have to make those buttons. Ooh, big button. All right, you sold me. Okay, let's paint the resume button green and the reset button red. Beautiful. Okay, we can have a diode which fills up as we are interrogating. Yes, yes. I know we can see it right there, but I want to see it here. And we could have a big old gauge that tells me something, presumably. Okay, so resume and reset are set correctly to there. That looks good. Let's take a quick look here, and let's have a quick look at the code and see what it does. So here we have the radar, the resume button, and the reset button. We are checking the vertical angle, so the horizontal angle, the vertical angle, we're doing a step, we're doing a signal ID. It's all very, very cool. If you want to understand how this code works, you know where to go. I will put a link in the description to all the code used in this series, but we should be able to take that out, put that in there, turn this on, and we should see that the solar panel up top just starts working, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, sorry, not the solar panel, the radar. Day 50 and we've got solar tracking. That is huge, man. That is absolutely ginormous, and that is a great screenshot. Sometimes you gotta take the shots when you get them. This dish is now arbitrarily scanning the sky, and what it'll do is it'll continue to scan until it gets close enough to actually contact one of these. Then it'll freeze, and it'll tell me that it's time for me to come over and interrogate it. I would like to do a little bit of additional coding to this so that we can see our interrogation progress over here, as well as, I don't know what I want to do with the gauge. I guess that could be my power level, right? Yeah, let's do that, guys, the power level. And this is not necessary. This is exclusively just for fun now. So let's take a look at these different items. Let's have a look at the gauge, first and foremost. The gauge 3x3. Gauge that displays setting between 0 and 1 has an adjustable color, text is changeable via labeler, and a star at the end to hide the text. Oh, okay, add a star at the end to hide the text. That would be pretty cool, but I think it's okay if it says power gauge. So we want to set the color depending on the usage, right? That makes sense to me. And the setting, so between 0 and 1. So 0 here, 1 there. So we want to make whatever we're doing as a percentage. So 1 equals 100%. So 10% would be 0.1, right? Yes. So let's do a little test here. Okay, so I'm going to take Kazar Evil script here. Okay, I don't want to mess with all this, so I'm actually going to put my code just sort of in here, arbitrarily. So this is going to be hashtag cows code, and this is going to be hashtag my nightmares. Okay, so what do we want to do here? We want to, let's define a few new variables, I suppose. So I want to load into power level the radar. I mean, what does it have? I don't even know. We do have interrogation progress. That's huge. Required power, I guess. Maybe it's the what's reaching contact. Maybe that's the one we want to do. Okay, so we can check its power level, which is how much it's sending. I guess if the gauge can be 0 or 1, and the watch reading contact is going to be a larger number, we want to divide whatever the number is by 100, right? To get the percentage. Is that how percentage works? No. No, it's really not. Okay, I guess, I mean, the simplest way to do it would just be divided by its total, right? So if we have the max power, we'll put that into R7. We'll get we can do that right here. So we load the max power of the radar by the required power. Okay, so that gives us our maximum. And then we're going to divide. This is going to be our, I suppose we'll use power level. We can get a new one here, alias. Our alias, we'll call this one watts to contact on R8. So we can put, so this one should actually be watts to contact. So our power level will be equal to the watts to contact divided by the max power. Okay, so that'll give us our power level as a percentage. And then I guess we can set the gauge. I just need to set them up here. So we'll set the power gauge to D3 and the diode to D4. Okay, so this should work, hypothetically. But then we can do the same thing for the interrogation. So for this one, we're going to have a look at the diode, which was this guy, diode slide. You go from 0 to 1 on a lit up bar. It has an adjustable color. So actually here, I suppose we can do some cool color settings, right? So we could, let's do this first. We could do the power gauge. So if I just set it to 1, let's see what happens with that. So I need a power gauge on D3 and diode on D4. Okay, let's take this. Let's export the code. Let's set it there. Okay, so there's currently no watch to the target, so that's not surprising that that's showing nothing, but the color has been set to gray. Cool, I guess 1 is gray. If we set that to 3, it's orange. Ah, okay, what's, I feel like there should be a way to look this up. Okay, so this should be the solution. Turns out that 0 is blue, 1 is white, 2 is green, 3 is orange, 4 is red, and 5 is yellow. I've just set up 4 little commands here, which will basically send it to change the color depending on where it is. So if it's less than 25%, it's green. If it's more than 25%, it's orange. If it's more than 50, it's yellow. And if it's more than 75, it's red. And so you can see then it just literally just changes the color to the desired one. So now we're going to do the same thing with the diode, right? So we need to load the interrogation percent, I suppose. So we'll load the interrogation from the radar. And that's my, what is the, I don't even know. Is it the interrogation progress? Yes. Now I'm going to assume that this gives me a decimal point. So I think it should be as easy as setting the diode setting to be whatever is on interrogation. I don't know. I'm just assuming, right? And then we would have the same functionality here. You know what? I won't even change the colors. That one can just stay what it is. Okay, cool. So let's see if that works. All right, well, it's going to be a while before we can actually talk to anybody again and see if this all blows up. So I guess I'll be back in a moment to see if anything has exploded. Well, I mean, anything else, that is. Also, what did our ore turn into? Bunch of cobalt. Huh. All right, so what have we achieved here? We have built the trading platform. That's done. We have set up a trading console. That's done. We have automated the search for traders. That's done. I would like to now go and automate the turbo pump real quick. This should be as easy as 1, 2, 3, because we can use the pressure input on either of these machines to do the work for us. And you know what? I think I'll use the pollutant one for this. Okay, there we go. We've got it set up. But please, citizen, do not be impressed. Everything you've just seen was vibe-coded. Thank you very much, Claude, for that one. I do not understand PIDs. I really don't. But I do understand that we need to use them in order to keep our game running. And so... crap. Something's broken. No. Oh, it's because I haven't set the pump. Right. Okay, so let's set the pump to D0. We need... could you stop breaking everything for a second? Oh, there it is. Turbo volume pump. Okay. So, now we should see the setting on this bad boy adjusting itself. Yes, it is. There we go. As the PID controller, sort of... What it does is you set the target value that you want. So, for example, I want there to be 15 megapascals of pressure inside this pipe. That's what I've designated it as, right? Right now we're at 15, and so this turbo pump should be slowing itself down, presumably. Yes, it should, but of course, our atmospheric units are pulling it out, and so we're maintaining a constant 15. And what that means is, as we can see here, this number will continue to adjust itself to maintain that. So, you set the value that you want, which in our case is... Oh, hello, cat! Which in our case is 15. Come here, you're gonna help me do this. And then what you're doing with all that fancy math we thought, which again, I don't fully understand. Sorry, she's really upset that I've been locked in here all day recording this session. She's climbing all over my head. What we are seeing here is that you take a target, right, which in our case was 15, and then you calculate your distance from it, right? That's your error. You do a bunch of maths to decide what your adjustment speed should be so that you can hit your target exactly without overshooting, and then you set that to the machine, and that's the exact rate with which you need to process the gas so that it can work. Okay, whew. That was a long-winded way of saying I don't really understand how PIDs work, but I do understand that they do work. So that is done. Turbo pump is set, and we will never blow up that pipe as a result. Very, very cool. Next up is going to be automating the workshop. Of course, there's a lot to do, but that's going to have to wait for next time, because despite what the day counter tells you, it is day 50. And in fact, day 50 is currently ending. And I need to go look after my cats. Thank you all very much for watching. Mark got me. We'll see you all in the next one as always. And maybe this time we won't even blow up any traders. That would be pretty sweet. In fact, it look... Oh, quick. It looks like we have someone to talk to. Are you still moving? You're still moving. We don't have anybody to talk to. Okay, never mind. We're just gonna have to wait until we've got some people to speak to. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm gonna go play with my cat before she freaks out, and I will see you all in the next one. Cheers.